Hey everyone, Ariel Adams here with theblogtoread.com. Please subscribe to Blog to Read videos on YouTube and like this video if you find it useful. This is a pretty handsome watch from LA.B, and this is the AM2 automatic. LA.B has been around for a couple years now, and I'm a big fan of what they do. They have some really unique styles. They're vintage inspired, but they're unique, as in the sense that there's not like a specific analog. They're vintage, literally vintage inspired, and not even necessarily vintage watch inspired, just vintage inspired. And the lead designer there is very interested in the aesthetic of old American muscle cars. French guy likes old American muscle cars, and so watches like this are the result. So the AM2 is the follow-up sort of the AM1, but they don't really look the same at all, so this is a totally unique one. One thing that you need to know, at least about most of today's LA.B watches, they're a little bit on the smaller side. So guys that like big watches are going to have to wait a little bit. Guys that like more medium to small size watches, there's a lot of things to enjoy. So this one is 38 millimeters wide in steel, and because it has a sort of squarish rectangular look, it looks a little bit bigger, but it is 38 millimeters. And let's just look at the case for a little bit. Very interesting. Shapes, curves, things like that. I love how they have this green colored tinted crystal over the movement, and then the back of the strap here is also green. That's a really cool little look, and I really like their customized automatic rotor there. The movement inside of this is a Swiss ETA 2892 automatic. Look at the crown there, nice little detailing. It comes in a couple different colors. So this version of the AM2 is in this sort of burgundy maroon style, and it look really nice. I mean, this strap is very sexy strap, and it was able to get these kind of like padded bumps here that I think were taken from the style of some old muscle car seats. And then that dial, that burgundy dial, just it says so much about that muscle car era, and you just don't see that a lot, and it's cool. I mean, it reminds me of everything from, you know, muscle cars and bowling alleys and you know, just all sorts of stuff like that. One thing that I want to say is the crown sometimes can get a little bit finicky, so you can pull it out to wind it and want to screw itself back down, but it's usually not that big of a deal. Legibility is very good, even though you have this faceted crystal and things like that. Legibility, as you can see, is quite good. So let's see it on the wrist. And again, this isn't the largest watch, but it does have a nice presence to it, and I think a lot of guys will like that. I also really like the buckle that LA.B uses. It's nice, and the strap, like I said, this is a cool strap. You're not going to find too much stuff like it. So there it is, and you can see it's not too small, but you know, it is a little bit smaller in the scheme of things, and it's very nice. A lot of good detailing, very legible. I'm very happy with this piece, and I think they did a good job with this one, and the maroon one is definitely one that I think is cool. If you don't like this burgundy style and you think that like you can't pull this off, there's like a black version, and there may be one or two others. I don't remember. The black version is definitely going to be the more sober one, but I thought this one was just like the most kick-ass. The price for the AM2 is $1,895, and you can buy it online, and you can see the full review of the LA.B AM2 on theblogtoread.com. Thanks.